Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video. And today I'm going to be taking a closer look at the different pressings of one of my favorite David Bowie albums, Station to Station. I think that is a mesmerizing album. You can hear David Bowie is looking for a new identity, looking for a new form. He is working with a new character, the Thin White Duke, and it's a very exciting record he made in LA, and I believe that he later on said that he did not remember recording the album because he was in a very dark place with loads of cocaine, sleeping 1 or 2 moments a week. He spent his days in the apartment of, I believe, Glenn Hughes of Deep Purple. And he told the most crazy stories about occult interests and signs on walls and a total bizarre situation. Now, you can hear a bit of that on the album, and it's a very exciting album. And today I'm going to be taking a look at what is the best version of this album. What I have here are a bunch of pressings. So I'll be taking a closer look at this album, and I'm gonna start it off with the first pressing I got, and I have it here, which is the Dutch pressing, the first Dutch pressing from 1976, and this was the pressing I got accustomed to. And I forgot to take my notes, so now I'm holding the notes here in front of me because I want to be specific, you know. So I don't make notes for a video, I do it all out of my head, but you know, when describing pressings, you gotta have a little bit of nuance. So, the first NL, this is the one I get used to listening. It's somewhat clean, a bit tin canish, you know, a bit thinny. The balance doesn't seem really okay. The bass is heavier. Yet again, almost all masterings of this album have a heavy bass. I think that's got to do with the fact that Bowie was still experimenting with the soul and the funk, and that he wanted it to have a certain groove. It's a bit thin in the high and in the mids, so not a real brilliant pressing though. So the album I got after that is this one, and by coincidence, I found 2 copies, 2 very nice VG Plus copies of the first UK pressing, and they have the same mastering, but I found both, I believe, for 10 or 20 euros. So yeah, when I find a bargain, I get a bargain. You know, these are the records that I want to give to my children later on when I have children. Now, this is very good. Incredible. Way more definition than the Dutch pressing. It has a fuller sound. It is bass heavy, just like the other one, but overall it is a better representation of the entire frequencies of this record. For the first time, when I put this one on in comparison to the other one and the digital stuff I heard, for example, on TVC15, a very interesting guitar in the high ends, which the Dutch one just doesn't have. This is, people often talk about this as being the best pressing at all. I love it. It's good. It's defined, beautiful, good sounding pressing. Now, last week I found this one, the first US, and I was very interested in the first US because I thought perhaps the first US might be better because Bowie was living in the United States when this album was released, so he might have listened to the American to the American mastering of this album. And this is a very good pressing, as a matter of fact. I think the bass on here is a little bit better defined than on the first UK. It is a very smooth bass, very beautiful. Overall, though, I prefer the first UK because this one has a little bit less definition and a little bit less warmth in the midst. You know, the British one has a very full, warm sound. This one is also a lot fuller and warmer compared to the Dutch pressing. But, you know, although this has a very nice smooth bass, I tend to lean towards the first UK because of the warmth and the mids. Nevertheless, if you find the first US pressing, go out, buy it. You won't regret it. It's a beautiful, beautiful pressing. Now, a while ago, I bought the 2016 Who Can I Be Now box, and this is the version from that box. There are two versions in there, and I'm going to be talking about the other version after this one, but this is the 2016 version, which is a very good EQ'd pressing. It has a better balance overall in the frequencies than the first NL, so it's definitely a step up from there. Nevertheless, the sound is somewhat thinner, no, not even somewhat, it is just thinner than the first UK and the first US. And the overall texture of the sound is not something I'm very happy about. It's somewhat a clean pressing, but I'm gonna use the word canny again. It's a bit tin, canny, and this is overall, from all the pressings I've listened to, the coldest sounding pressing. You know, I know that's perhaps a bit vague of a word to use, but overall, I'm gonna use the word cold. Not a bad one though, not a bad one. And when talking about the Bowie era boxes, I think the overall quality of the sound is pretty good. I'm not so much of a fan for them for the reissues of the original albums, because these albums can be found in slightly better sound quality, but those boxes have beautiful new content, and especially the last box, it just presents loads of Bowie albums which were otherwise almost unavailable to us on vinyl because they were so rare, these 90s albums. Great box set series, but they are not the audiophile masterpieces you would hope. Not bad also, let's be frank about that. It's about the content that is rare in those boxes, and that's where this one comes along, the 2010 version. Now, I've discussed the original mix and original pressing earlier on in this video, and if you go for the original mix, go first UK first, go first US second. Beautiful, gorgeous pressings. Now, this 2010 mix is a different mix. Yeah, it's pretty much different. For example, there are ad-libs mixed in, which are not in the original. Though that might not be my preferred choice to add things in a different mix, the overall sound of this is awesome. I really like the punch in the mix, the dynamics. It's a very full and impressive sound, and the texture of the different instruments. Oh, I'd even go as far as to say I might listen to this as the preferred version. Yet, when comparing different mixes of an album, I always think everyone should be very careful to take that in account, because it's not about just the pressing quality anymore. It's also about the ideas behind the mixer and the ideas behind the mix. So for me, I'll be listening to the first UK and this one a lot, because this is it's awesome what they're doing here. Now, that was my comparison with regard to station. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Or do you hold that one pressing which even blows away the first UK one? Please drop a line and tell me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!